red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts, you can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road, you better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego, then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. All right, reporting live and direct. And this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, is it's a Friday pop up. All right, this is a Friday, a TGIF pull up. You know what I mean? We have a class at 8 o'clock. And I said, let me pop up real quick and just share some information with the family before I start my workshop. There's some information that I want to share with y'all that I really feel is going to be beneficial going into the strong end. You know what I'm talking about? Especially considering the times that we're living in right now. So with that being said, let me do the roll call real quick, see who's in the building so we could tap into this energy and connect this grid and do what we do around these parts. Shout out to Spin City. All right. Shout out to all of my KT aliens. Shout out to my Patreon family. Shout out to the mods in the building. Shout out to all of the KT aliens in the audience. All right. All set. Goddess, all set. I see you. You know what I'm talking about? Osaze, Toronto. I see you. Baltimore, New Orleans, San Francisco. All right, Naptown, I see you. Lakeisha, I see you. Greenville, Mississippi. Charlotte, I see you. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. All right, now, I see you. Lake Charles. Hawaii tapping in. Shout out to Hawaii. The big wave. Colorado Springs, that part. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Lafayette, Louisiana. Chicago West Side. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Peace from the Riker God. New Jersey Drive. Skirt. Melbourne, Australia. Chicago West Side. Okay. Houston in the building. All right. That's what I'm talking about. The family is in the building. The DMV is in the building. Look, it's all coming together. You know what I'm talking about? The forming of Voltron. We connected. It's all coming together. All of the grids. Los Angeles. right? Los Angeles, where can I get that bucket hat? I will have these on the mark125.com. In about a week. I'm preparing for the Malcolm X Fest, which is coming up next strong in. I've been in production mode, but we're gonna have that piece along with about 10 other new pieces by next strong. Probably by this strong. What's today? Friday? Shit, maybe by as early as Sunday. You know, maybe as early as Sunday, and they're gonna come in about 6 colors. I give it about 6 colors. Feel me? So yeah, we working. Time is moving like this. Shit you not. There's quantum quickening is doing what it's doing. And that's a beautiful thing. Because even though things are moving at a faster speed, it's moving at the speed of the internet. I don't know if that's the speed of light, but it's moving at the speed of internet things these days. Um, and that could be a very good thing if you know you are attached to that speed properly. You feel me? Like if you are attached to multiple income streams and those streams are attached to this fast paced moving internet, right? There are ways that you can really, really see some profit. Tonight, we're going to do the first part of a 4-part deep dive into the possibilities that, that await us these days. Tonight, I want to show a few things as we get into this conversation. I want to qualify um, some of these conversations that I'm going to have tonight by pulling
A
up
big rethinking.
some classic material that I ran across earlier today as I was putting together my presentation. You know what I mean? It's nothing like what I call POW, proof of work. You know, proof of work.
And stuff. You know what I mean?
So
You
these are some previous lectures that I did, well, previous workshops actually that I did for Stream Chasers. That was the 100 income stream, but from 2021, and some interesting predictions were made in uh, that workshop that I did. So yeah, I'm gonna pop that up in a minute. But yeah, Twin got deleted off the Spotify. Yeah, I took Twin off of Spotify. I took everything off of the streaming networks. You can't find any of our works really. And that might change one day, but for right now, that's what it is. You feel me? It's just what it is. But yeah. I will show you the site where you could get Twin though. I will show you the site where it's like our record label. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, let me pull that up right now instead of talking about it. This is probably the best place where you could get all of the music underneath one roof, and that music is not being taken advantage of by people like Spotify and all of these digital streaming platforms. It's just very egregious what they doing with the artists over there. That shit is crazy. So let me drop it right there. I'm gonna share the page so you see what it looked like. This is the page right here. Black Cloud, that's our record label. Me and Blue, Black Cloud Sounds. This is our record label, and this is where you'll find a collection of our music offerings. All right. laid out. The discography is all there. All of our projects, well, mostly all of them. We don't have Christ consciousness up there, and yeah. But for the most part, yeah, most of the catalog is here, so you could check that. And we're on Bandcamp as well. You dig? Yeah. So let me get into this conversation because I don't have all night, right? I want to get into a conversation about what we are calling the Mogul Manifesto, right? In my studies for this workshop that I'm doing right now, I've realized that manifestos are something that are very mandatory, in terms of anytime you want to basically do the pen, right? Which Dr. Wesley Muhammad said is mightier than the sword, right? Through the pen, you want to establish your order, right? You want to basically create your constitution. You want to establish your rule of law, right? So the Mogul Manifesto, similar to other manifestos that have been put out there, is just our constitution of what it is as moguls, right? That we are going to, manifest, right? So I want to read through it and just go through it briefly. Okay, let me see. Let's start it off. All right, welcome to the new order of entrepreneurship. This is not a gig. This is not a hustle. This is digital sovereignty, engineered through AI systems, scalable assets, and income intelligence. In a world where attention is a currency and code is king, we present the operating system for the new class of entrepreneurs, creators of wealth, architects of autonomy, and builders of digital empires. This isn't about chasing cash, it's about owning pipelines. This isn't about side money, it's about sovereign monetization. This is your codex for command, your declaration for financial independence. The traditional paths have crumbled. The gatekeepers have lost their keys. In this new paradigm, technology isn't just a tool, it's an extension of your entrepreneurial DNA. Multiply your impact while minimizing your input. We're not here to climb corporate ladders or punch time cards until retirement. We're here to build mechanisms that generate wealth while we sleep, systems that scale beyond the limitations of time, and assets that appreciate instead of deteriorate. The Mogul Manifesto isn't about luck or privilege, it's about strategic leverage. It's about reprogramming your relationship with work, wealth, and worth. This is your blueprint for breaking free from linear income and entering the realm of exponential returns. Are you ready to transcend the ordinary, to transmute your knowledge into digital gold, to transform your operator to orchestrator? Then you're ready for the mogul mindset, where your income isn't tied to your hours, but your intellectual property and the systems you command, right? So when we did the last workshop, which was entitled The Fantasy Complex Industry, right? We did the fantasy complex industry, and what the fantasy complex industry entailed was, the fact that almost all of us, maybe 90% of us that are in this community are um, children, right? Or we pass through the fantasy complex industry as children, and those industries that we were a part of and really kind of like helped to program us with the toy industry. It was the comic book industry, it was the cartoon industry, then it was the video game industry, and then the animation industry, right? These industries were primarily controlled by people who didn't necessarily look like us, right? They were not from our tribe. They were not a part of our race. Even though we had people who looked like us who played a part of those industries are not owned by us. We're just the quote unquote talent. We're not like the management. So the world that we live in today, with the tools that are available today, we now could be the management and we could be the talent. We kind of don't have a middleman anymore, because AI, which is the new, it removed the middleman. When you hear I want you to reprogram the way that you see it as the tool that literally just removed the middleman and then broke the dam. That's a bar, right? It removed the middleman. That's why you're seeing the removing of the middleman on so many different planes and so many different places. The quote unquote middleman is getting moved out of there, right? So from the micro to the macro. So what we have now, or where we are now in our possibilities, and where we are now in our quote unquote, because you got to be presently present and be very aware of the now, because the now is where the presence is. So in this now, technology has advanced and it has quantum leaped along with the quantum shift, or this quantum time that we're all experiencing, this quantum quickening and whatnot. Feel me? This is what we're all experiencing. So the technology is advancing as well. And now we have the opportunity, those of us who are ambitious enough to want to gather multiple income streams and maintain the quote unquote the weight that comes with that, because it's not, mentally it can become a weight. It could become a burden. It could become something that you feel like you have to lift and whatnot. So you have to be able to, you have to be mentally stable. You have to be emotionally stable. Your nerves have to be intact. You feel me? You should be more disciplined. But yes, the possibility of holding 100 income streams in your hand is here. Don't ever think that I don't know what to say, but you know, don't cancel yourself out of something that you might not even be aware of, right? Let's go back into the time machine. Let's go back into the future and check out some of the pillar prophecies. All right.
Multiple pots and just tending to those pots. It's going to take a while for the meal to be cooked. You can't just put it on a pot and think that it's going to be prepared overnight. This is not microwavable. You know what I'm talking about? This is a Sunday dinner. The same way that if you were to tend to your garden and you were to plant seeds and whatnot, you're not going to disrupt the growth of the tree because you want to eat fruit. You have to wait for the tree to grow and to bear fruit. That is the same analogy that we utilize when it comes to investments. Investment is not necessarily long-term, like it's going to be 20 years from now, but it is long-term to a sense that you have to be able to put some money into a pot and really be able to walk away from it for a minute and just think about other things. Stage to be early adapters, the same way that we had the opportunity to be early adapters on a lot of things that we missed out on. We should, because there's some amongst us that are called blurs, black nerds. And there's some amongst us who understand things like that. It doesn't have to be everybody. Like I said, this is not one of those, peer pressure type of things. If that's not your thing, then we should not make it our thing, but understand that it is a thing that is driving the new digital economy. And for the companies that begin to sprout up, and for our children that are coming up who have a better understanding and understanding and connection to technology than the adults, right? We should begin to point them in a direction or set them up right now while they are impressionable to learn about this stuff. We should be helping them learn about AI, learn computer languages and computer programming and things of that nature. Learn how to read data and break it down. Learn internet security. All of these things are going to be sufficient, not in the future. They're sufficient right now as we speak. There's no age limit to how you could participate in these fields, because there's teenagers out here getting right to the bag up in Google. They in them colleges. You know what I'm talking about? They at MIT. They don't care about age. It's about brain. 3D printing. I'm about to show you the 3D printer printing a house out. They're 3D printing body parts, 3D printing weapons. They 3D printed food. There's places in, you know, there's growth. If history is in data, has surpassed oil, right? Data, big data has surpassed big oil in America and around the world. Okay? So data is worth more than oil. So if you understand how to break down data, that's how these companies like Facebook, YouTube have become trillion-dollar companies. They broke the trillion-dollar mark, okay? Based off of the ad revenue model and data. These are free platforms. They're part of what is known as the free economy. They offer freemiums. You don't pay anything to sign up to them. You don't got to pay anything, but you're paying with your data. You're paying with your eyeballs, your retention, and you're paying with your data. That's how they make their money, off of the clicks, of the likes, and the things that you like, and the browsing that you like to do. That's how Google gets its money, based off of what you search and what websites you visit, all of your characteristics and your consumer behaviors. They sell that to third parties. Okay, Instagram, they know who you like, they know who you don't like. They know what DMs you slide in, and they know who you don't slide in. They know all of that, and they sell that. Artificial intelligence, okay? I'm not here for the fear mongering. I'm not here to, oh, we the original artificial intelligence. Cool, I'm with that. I'm co-signing that. Cool, you know, Hotep. But I'm also not lost to the fact that there's real artificial intelligence that's being created in the digital realm. And if we don't know how to program it, it could be programmed to be utilized against us. So while we're at this early stage to be early adapters, the same way that we had the opportunity to be early adapters on a lot of things that we missed out on, we should, you know, because there's some amongst us that are called blurs, black nerds. And there's some amongst us who understand things like that. It doesn't have to be everybody. Like I said, this is not one of those, you know, peer pressure type. They're intellectual property. They're licensing shit to other websites that you buying shit from.
This is from 2021, y'all. Let me put a timestamp on this. This is from, we're in 2025. This is 2021. ChatGPT popped out in 2023, December. Okay. November.
Right?
So,
and it goes back to the business.
We went through 100 different streams.
Finance works.
Start the sales yet.
Red, would you
Feel for risk take containers?
Here we can't hear.
This is so it doesn't matter. It goes to the saying, I'll take become a solicit funds from the government. These Europeans and Indians and Asians and Africans.
So we've been helping our people in this arena, you know, strive instead of survive, right? Because once again, everything is about choice, right? Everybody is about, you know, this whole existence, this whole movie is about choice. So you could choose to take every piece of information that you hear and do something with it, or you could choose to do something with one piece, or you could choose to do nothing. That's your choice. That's what you choose. However, if you interact with the information in a proper way and you choose the right thing, then you will have the right results. You have the right experiences, and shit will be right. Right? That's how that works. But if the information don't get presented, if you don't get the data, if it never, you know, you could never miss something that you never had, right? So
and whoever, they were utilizing a new language. That language that they were utilizing was the coding language. Okay, so for the brothers and sisters who want to learn these coding languages, either for themselves or they want to homeschool their children, if you want to step it up and increase your bottom line, I would highly suggest that you get into these new coding languages. I would highly suggest that you teach yourself. You become more self-sufficient and self-determined, and tap into the free economy or the internet where things happen to be free right now, and for those that are not free, because everything is not free. You know what I'm talking about? You got to pay, you got to pay to play in certain situations, especially in this web 3.0. Everything is subscription based. You got to pay to play. They're not, all of the free shit is like kind of bottom feeders. It's not really worth much. They've consolidated a lot of the information behind paywalls. So these are a list of 40 sites that you could go to right now if you want to create a curriculum to teach brothers that are locked up, right? You want to send them a whole, if you want to send them some info, you know how people used to send letters to the homies and whatnot? Well, you could send them information like this. You could send them books that teach them how to code, because they have access to computers in some of those penitentiaries and whatnot. If you have youth and young upstarts, that are home schooled or home from school, if you want to create an after school program, if you want to create a program where you could solicit funds from the government, grants and things of that nature, if you want to teach double minorities, even though I don't agree with those terms, they're colorable, Black women of color. I don't even know what that means, but shit, it's a check from the government for women of color. And if that's what you want to go and chase, if you would like to tap into that, I would highly suggest, right? This is just me giving you a suggestion. I would tell you the same thing in a consultation. I would highly suggest that you would tap into the STEM market or the coding field, because there's billions upon billions of dollars, especially in this new administration, especially with Kamala being a vice president, especially with the Democrats, and they are putting on this fake face about woke capitalism. And, because of what took place with George Floyd and whatnot, you saw the shift in corporate America to where they have to cater to and coddle to Black folk. You know what I'm talking about? That it just is what it is. There's going to be more money being thrown around to POC, what they call people of color, in this next 4 years than there were during the Trump administration. That's a fact. So I would just say to get your LLC or get your non-for-profit, or just position yourself in the right, pivot and position yourself rightfully so you can.
Yeah, we're going to have to put a box set together, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm definitely going to revisit that lecture, from 2021, and we got another one that we'll tap into. Let's continue reading more the Mogul Manifesto, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's workshop starts at 8 p.m. on the dime, 8 p.m. on the dime. Zoom only, right? This is for my Patreon. This is for my students, my KTLENs, but we're not going to exclude anybody. We also have a special deal going tonight and tonight only for the tickets. So if you want to pull up, that will get you a ticket for all 4 weeks for this 4-week workshop entitled 100 Income Streams, presented by Stream Chasers and AI and Accelerator 4.4. All right. So let's go back into the Mogul Manifesto. Let's read one more page out of that. So who is this for? Who's the Mogul Manifesto? Because somebody might hear this and be like, what is a Mogul Manifesto? What is a mogul and what is a manifesto? What does this have to do with me? I'm looking for the enlightenment. All right. So the Mogul Manifest, the Mogul Mindset audience is solopreneurs, right? So let's say you built a 5 to a 15K monthly income, but you hit the ceiling at your capacity. You're seeking 7 specific income streams without adding 60+ hour work weeks to your schedule. You want to transform your expertise into digital products that sell while you sleep, turning one-time consulting calls into $997 courses, $47 a month memberships, and licensing deals worth $3 to $5K per client. You refuse to be the bottleneck in your own business any longer. All right. So it's for the marketeers. You're tired of manually creating 30 plus social posts weekly or spending 15 hours on client proposals. You need AI copywriting systems handling 85% of your content creation and automated funnel sequences that convert at 3 to 5% without constant tweaking. You're building perpetual marketing machines that turn $1 of ad spend into $3 to $5 of revenue through evergreen systems, not campaign to campaign hustle. For the operators, you missed the 80 to 20 principle and cut operational overhead by about 35% through strategic automation. Now you're building sellable assets with 68% profit margins and 8 to 12x valuation multiples. Your standard operating procedures allow you to delegate 90% of daily tasks, creating true business sovereignty. You're engineering your exit strategy from day one, building 500K to $2 million in transferable equity. For the builders, you transform 3 years of expertise into digital assets, generating 8 to about 12K monthly with just 5 to 10 hours of maintenance. Your custom AI agents process 10,000 customer interactions monthly without your involvement. You've built templated workflows that turn 1 hour of work into $350 to $500 of value, creating scalable systems that compound at 25 to 40% annually while you focus on high leverage activities. Beyond hustle culture, this manifesto speaks to those who reject the false narrative that 4 a.m. wake ups and 16-hour workdays lead to success. You understand that a 10x return on invested capital beats a 10% increase in effort every time. You're not chasing the dopamine hit of inbox zero or the vanity metrics of social media. You're engineering asset-based income systems that maintain 65% margins while requiring less than 10 hours of your weekly attention. You are building in the ownership economy where your intellectual property pays you 24/7, 365 days a week through digital pipelines that monetize while you focus elsewhere. You understand that data is the new oil and you're building refineries, not just drifting individual wells. The traditional employment models offers a 2 to 3% annual raise. Your digital sovereignty approach delivers a 200 to 300% return on investment on systems that multiply your impact without multiplying your effort. So I wish I could continue, but we do have things to we got a lecture we got coming up. All right. So yeah, we're gonna continue this conversation. We're gonna be doing more pop-ups like this. We're gonna have more conversations with the audience. We're even going to bring students on board who will be able to demonstrate in real time and show and prove, how they're using the information to prosper and how they use the information. Because gosh, mind you, I got students that go all the way back to 2020, right? You feel me? Like this is the other one.
Could take this information and you could teach homeschooling. You could take this information and you could teach your people. You could take this information and you could do deep dive and research and become more knowledgeable and whatnot. Because I'm not sitting here finna read every fucking article to you. You know what I mean? This is a workshop. This is about taking this information and working that shit and putting it to use. So there's a page, go and Google Passion Economy Stack, right? It's the largest collection of passion economy resources. Anywhere that you see a stack, get used to that term, stacks, right? It's basically what it sounds like. It's just stacks on stacks on stacks. It's information on top of information on top of information on top of information, article on top of article on top of article, research on top of research on top of research on top of stacked. It's stacked. Research on top of research on top of research on top of research, and you come in and you gain a wealth of information. about currency, even though.
Man, that was balls right there. You heard the stack set up? Ha! You heard it? The Stackington. But yeah, man, I wish I could hang out with y'all, but I do have a workshop to start. So peace, love, and light to the family. The link is in the bio. Shout out to everybody in the building. Pull up to class, and I will see y'all in the building. The link right there for the Eventbrite. For my IG family, hit the link right there in the this pin, and we will see you in class. All right, let's get it. Peace, love, and light.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. If we don't put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.